Hello, good morning. Today we will discuss about the theories in social work versus social work theory and other six different theory in social work. Most important theory in social work. So there is a plethora of theories in social work education, training, research, and practice. As we all know, one may account for approximately, when we say approximately, it's the different distances 30 theories taught during the period of during the period of instruction to social work graduates. These theories have been borrowed from the other disciplines, also known as systematic body of knowledge in attributes, via psychiatry, psychology, sociology, anthropology, economics, criminology, political science, theology, philosophy, and administration, and etc. It also attempt is made by social work educators and practitioners to do a good fit of these theories with professional practice of social work. It will be useful if we understand the different types of theories taught and the logic as why are these theories imparted to the students. It may logical to group these theories is a broader categories, example theory of evolution, theory of personality, the development and learning theories, theories of social organization, on how we develop in our social organization, and social change, theories of social stratification. We have also theories of individual and group behavior, how is the different individual behave in the different circumstances and even the group. Theories of deviance, crime, and correction, why they did that different deviation act. Theories of economic growth and development, theories of group dynamics and leadership. Other are theory of social work like clinical practice and etc. As what stated, social work finding the calm after the storm. Curriculum Development Center in Social Work Education under with the University Grants Commission, India recognized three elements of social work curriculum. The number one is the value of the profession. He has the importance of social work profession. In the Philippines also we do have a different roles and responsibilities and we do value the different social work curriculum. Number two, skills and methods that are developed for the professional test. So, how's the different skills and methods of the certain social worker who did their professional tasks? Three, major theories and concept. So, we have six major theories, mamaya malalaman natin. The objectives of teaching theories is number one, refinement of practice. When I say refinement, it's practicing about what we call that developing about the different practices in social work. Number two, provision of changing theoretical input to the social work knowledge base. Knowledge base such as different theories and perspective or different sociologies, different psychologists na that can be connect in our profession. Number two, provision of changing theoretical inputs to the social work knowledge base. And number three, building up of new theories from the practice data. We have different theories just like Simon Freud, Alfred Adler's, the psychosocial stages of development, such as that one. This this entry has recommended to include many different theories discretely. They disperse slightly but failed to do a wise selectivity of appropriate theories to be taught, rational and coherent, and imparting knowledge of these theories compactly as an independent course that are taught in other disciplines. Example, sociological theories, modern economics theories, contemporary political theories, and psychological theories. Maybe in your second sem, you have your different major subjects such as contemporary political, Filipino personality. So you will discuss different psychologies. You will discuss different proverbs in our country, which is Philippines. The term theory is loosely used in social work profession. The use of social work theories in professional literature is rather ambiguous. Concept frames of reference, practice models, and philosophical proposition have been termed as theories. Yan po. Another, some social work practitioners maintain that due to the very nature of the fast changing society, social relations, social institutions, culture, economy, political attitude, and behavior patterns, dynamics of client-practitioner relationship, and the very eclectic nature of the profession. So we have different changes in our profession, which is social work. That the social work is only residual, residual social agencies, and now we are institutional. Theory has no value in professional practice, but some other advocates that theory should inform the guide and practice. The practice must function as the feedback for theory reformation, or what we call the evaluation itself. The social world and the human behavior within it are so complex that any simplification model can only distort reality. This is not to argue that model building of measurement has no place in sociology. The point is that every social phenomenon must be quantified, is neither acceptable nor desirable. It holds true of the status of theories in social work also. Social and behavioral scientists obsessed as they are with the natural science model have a theoretical biases. The biases between different theory or different models and perspective that they have for explaining social events and behavioral expression. This bias has led to the growth of the variety of theories, which is the following: the speculative theories, an abstract impressionistic approach rooted in the philosophical system, just like the labeling perspective. We say labeling perspective, that certain person, which is you didn't know their real name, but you know the physical appearance, then that certain person, say for example, si kuan good tung gwapa nga sexy nga lamion nga taas ang buhok nga pution. So in that label, makaisip po ang imong makaisip rin yung kasama mo na nakikinig sa iyo, ay si kuan, si ganito at ganyan. There are times na negative din ang labeling perspective. Kunyari, nakita nimo si kuan tong lagom nga itom nga ingani ana. So we don't believe in labeling perspective. Yun po dapat ang isipin natin. Grounded theories. Based on the finding of empirical research, we have also grand theory, broad conceptual scheme or system of interrelated prepositions that provide a general frame of reference for the study of social processes in institutions. Number 4, miniature theories, partial or inclusive theories, which Merton calls the theories of middle range. Ayan po. Other also, these different theories you will encounter in your second and major subject in Filipino personality. Macro and molar theories, broader in scope and encompass the extended range of laws. Number 6, micro or molecular theories, narrow frame of reference and focus on the limit range of phenomenon. So focus only with the, say for example, the La Nina, El Nina, and El Nino. Yun po, El Nina and La Nina and El Nino. Social work theories can be best be categorized as miniature and or molecular. Social work has been widely viewed as a helping profession. This helping trust has been broadly classified into clinical and wider system change orientation. The theory used in social work practice in the Western world via Vice, USA, Canada are predominantly individual pathology oriented, largely influenced by psychoanalytic theories with far-fetched implication usage for a group, dysfunctional communities, conflicts, families, integration due to economic forces and wider society contradictions that are generally responsible for individual maladjustment, group disorganization, and other social problems in the society. The realization that problem or individual and or group and community malfunctioning, or what we call not functioning, maladjustment, not adjustment, are rooted in the economic and social malaise created due to the inherent contradictions of the capitalist economic political system, ultimately leads to the recognition of macro analysis and realization of mega action. Marxist theory based on the above understanding has guided the practice of considerable good number of social workers throughout the world. Here's the picture. Social work leadership. Everyone loves a social worker. Social work feed the human, shelter the homeless, protect the childhood, advocate the infirm, counsel the distressed, empower the victim, research best practice, inform government, protect the vulnerable, challenge the discrimination. It is observed by some social workers that the psychoanalytic theories, instead of informing and guiding the social work practice, had simply taken the practice over, or in other hijack the practice. Theories in social work versus social work theories. So the implication or bottom line of this one is clinical and non-clinical social work practice. In clinical, social work deals with individuals, face-to-face case work. Clinical social worker is a mental health profession. We have the different activities or program media natin tawag, whose practitioner educated in social work, graduate schools, and trained under supervision, master a distinctive body of knowledge and skills in order to assess, diagnose, and ameliorate problems, disorder, and condition, and interfered with healthy biopsychological functioning of people, individuals, couples, families, groups of all ages, and the background. On the study, we do have fields in studying about the old person, which is the gerontology also. In clinical social work practice, are we realizing the extreme limitation of social work in a changing environment and fallout effect of the conscious dismantling of the social welfare system in the West and its effect on a social work profession as such. This illusions, this illusion meant over the social work methods in actual modifying, correcting, adjusting individuals. Some of the trained institution of social work switch over the social work development for the teaching and training graduates, incorporate development theories, concepts, and models in the curriculum. Thus, theories related to community organization, development, social policy and administration, non-governmental and civic society organization, their functions and utility, contract failure theory, subsidy theory, regional planning and development, growth center hypothesis, center place, and cumulative quotient theories, theories of the development and underdevelopment, social action theories, etc., including in the social work syllabi. We say syllabi or syllabus in the curriculum. But it is also observed that theory of development that are taught through uncritically are not used in social work practice. So that's it. That's it for social work practice in clinical. So let's go on with the different theories in social work. Wait a minute kasi yung aking internet dapat talaga ma-on na muna para ma-read po siya. Sorry is balik po tayo for the discussion. Six important theories in social work. Social work theories attempt to describe, explain, and predict social events based on the scientific evidence, studies, and research. Social work perspective draw for psychology, philosophy, economic, education, and other fields to attempt to explain what drives and motivates people at various stages of life. Some social work students studying for a bachelor degree in social work or master of social work may wonder, why is theory important in social work, especially in our major subject, which is the SWSE, Hbse 5, the social work perspective and changes. Social workers learn a variety of theories, so they prepare to apply social work theory to practice. So in that certain theory, it will be guided in, say for example, the social worker will already graduate and can practice the different theories that they have learned in their different schools. That ensures competence in social work, which can increase social work confidence. Why is theory important in social work? Social work theories help social worker analyze cases, understand client, create interventions, predict interventions, result in evaluate at outcomes. While the theories are constantly evolving and new evidence is produced, referencing social work theories that have been used over time enable social work to explore causes of behavior. They can then help their clients find the best solution. Learning about various social work theories help to remind social workers that their personal assumptions and beliefs should be suspended during social work practice. Social workers should use evidence-based theories to investigate issues and drive their practices instead of applying their own attitude, reactions, and mood to client work. So you are guided with the theories, with a different perspective and theories that must be applicable in social work profession, not in your own attitude, reactions, and moods to client work. Next, applying social work theory to practice. Social work theory provides a starting point for social workers to create interventions and plan their work. It gives social worker a way to address client problems through a research-based lens. The theories help social workers better understand complex human behavior and social environments, which influence their clients' lives and problems. A good grasp of theories help guide social workers by providing them with a sense of directions for a pattern which is the different theories, purpose, and control by using research-based scientific evidence in theories. So we are basis with our evidences. One challenge of applying social work theories to practice is choosing the right theories for the situation at hand. It can be difficult to assign a single theory to complex client issues. Often, it's more practical to draw upon the knowledge of multiple theories and use that understanding to design mul- multifaceted intervention. Here is the list of important social work theories. The following list of social work theories, including some of most widely referenced theories used in social work. Let's start. Number one, social learning theories. Social learning theories, which is also known as social cognitive theory, was developed by the psychologist Albert Bandura Sternly. This theory posits that learning occurs by observing others and modeling their behavior. You're portraying with someone. In order for social learning to occur, a person must want to emulate the person they watched. Say for example, you have your idol in that certain television or stations. You're imitating them. It's the social learning theories. The individual pays close attention to the action and retain the action in memory. Then the individual must express a situation where the behavior can be repeated and must be motivated to repeat the behavior. Even the behavior of your idol, the dress, the actions, the speak, the different language na nagagaya mo sa kanya. Social learning theory relates to social work behavior because social workers may want to understand how role model affected the behavior and moods in those they work with. Say, for example, the client, the moods of their parents. It can also apply in social learning theories. Maybe in that certain problem of the client, maybe have an effect of different moods or attitude of their parents. Yun po. Social learning theory can also help social worker form intervention strategies that use positive modeling and reinforcement to create new positive behavior in the client. Yun po. Yun po ang ating social learning theory. Let's proceed with the number 2. The systems theory. Systems theories proposes that people are product of complex system, correct? Rather than individuals who act isolation. In this theory, behavior is influenced by a variety of factors that work together as a system. These factors include families, friends, social settings, religious structure, economic class, and home environment, which can all influence how individual act and think. Like the what we call that genogram, the echo, nakalimutan ko yung term. Sige lang, tingnan ko muna. System theory can be used to treat issues like eating disorder, depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety, school trauma, and risky behavior. In ecological system theory, individuals are observed in multiple environments so that behavior is fully understood. Family system theory examines the family as a social system influence behavior and thoughts. So that's it. It's under with the family-based approach also. Social worker using system theory will work to understand how their client are influenced by the system they're a part of. Social worker then identify where systemic breakdowns are affected behavior. In that certain theory, so the social worker will identify hows or what are the different system theory that can be connected in that certain problem of our client. Yun po. Number 3, psychological development theory. Psychosocial development theory was introduced by the German psychoanalyst Erik Erikson, who believed personality development in a series of stages. Erikson created an 8 stages theory of excuse me, psychosocial development. According to theory, the 8 stages of development that people pass through in life are: number 1, the trust versus mistrust. Number 2, autonomy versus shame and doubt. 3, initiative versus guilt. 4, industry versus inferiority. 5, identity versus confusion. 6, intimacy versus isolation. 7, generativity versus stagnation. 8, integrity versus despair. In psychosocial development theory, humans are believed to go through this stage as they age. Psychosocial development theory can influence social worker who can look at what stage of development their clients are going through and use the theory to better understand the challenges their clients are experiencing during certain stages of psychosocial development. We have this term in dictionary of social work, which is the fixation. Let's proceed with number 4, psychodynamic theory. Psychodynamic theory was introduced by the founder of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud. This theory is founded on the idea that humans are biologically driven to seek gratification. The theory states that people do the base of process that have development outside of conscious awareness, with origins in childhood experiences. This drive influence every behavior leading to action like aggression, sex, and self-preservation. In social work, psychodynamic theory can help to explain the internal processes individuals use to guide their behavior, some of which may be unconsciously motivated. Social workers may also examine how early childhood experience have played a role influencing their client behavior to this. That is psychodynamic theory. Number five, social exchange theory. Social exchange theory originates with Australian psychologist George Humans. It says that relationships are based on cost-benefit analysis. Each person seeks to maximize their benefit at is expected to reciprocate from the benefit they receive. So, give and take. When risks outweigh potential rewards, relationship may be abandoned. When one person in a relationship has greater personal resources than other, that person is predicted to have greater power as well. Social worker can use social exchange theory to understand the relationship their clients have with other and why they continue to maintain certain relationship or abandon them. Social exchange theory can be also be applied to the technique social worker use to connect with their client. Social exchange theories can influence how social worker position the social work client relationship as one that benefit their client. So different na nakahalubilo ng mga client, pwede natin gamitin itong social exchange theory or the reciprocity process na meron sa social work profession. Number 6, rational choice theory. Rational choice theory help explain why people make the choices they do, as people weigh risk, cost, and benefits before making decision. The theory says that all choices are rational because people calculate the cost and benefit before making a decision. Even when a choice seems traditional, there was reasoning behind it. This theory can help social worker understand the decision-making processes and motivates of their client. Using rational choice theory, social worker can examine how their client make decision based on the rational references. When we say rational, it's the will and reasoning. Six practices model in social work. We have six practices model in social work. Social work practice models are ways social workers can implement theory in their practice. Just like a social work may use various theories to guide their intervention, social worker may also use various practice model depending on the problem their client encounter. The first one is behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is focuses on how thoughts and feelings influence behaviors as well as how self-destructive behavior can lead to psychological problems. Social worker using cognitive behavior therapy method help client identify self-destruction, thoughts, and behaviors that influence negative emotions and behavior. So that is the cognitive. Cognitive behavioral theory is often used with individuals who are experiencing mental health issues, mental illness or depression resulting from crisis or trauma. Social worker using cognitive behavior theory help their client eliminate destructive thoughts and behavior and prevent negative outcomes from them. So that is the cognitive behavior theory. Number 2, crisis intervention model. The crisis intervention model is used for clients who are experiencing crisis and trauma, such as a victim of domestic violence, and for clients who require intervention to prevent physical harm of the suicide. So mostly, which is the crisis intervention. Albert R. Robert, PhD, and Alan J. Ottens, PhD, developed a 7 stages crisis intervention model, which the following stages. Number 1, take a psychosocial and lethality assessment, which is we have different and the bridge psychological test, paki-search po sa Google. So marami po in order to facilitate or in order to know what kind of attitude or what kind of psychological tests can be result in our own attitude or our own personality. Marami po dyan sa YouTube or even in Google. Rapidly establish rapport. So we as a social worker, we need also to establish rapport at the very first time in order that our client to gain to in order us to gain the trust of our client. Identify the major crisis cost. Correct. Enable the client to express their feelings and emotions. You need to dapat po talaga may labas nila kung ano yung mga different feelings yung sa loobin nila and even the emotions. Don't stop them for sharing about their feelings or negative thoughts yung meron sila. Generate and explore safe alternatives for the coping mechanism that they have. So meron tayong mga defense mechanism po. Create an action plan. Follow up after the intervention. After giving the intervention, you have your post-evaluation. You need to have a follow-up. This social work model is commonly used for clients who are experiencing thoughts of suicide or self-harm or who have undergone an acute crisis like rape or violence. So that's it, a crisis intervention model. Number 3, the narrative therapy. Narrative therapy is a process of removing an individual from their problems and helping the individual to see that they have the power to change their life story, also known as narrative. Narrative therapy helps individuals realize that they are not their problems, but that they separate from them and can fix them when they view the narrative from an outside perspective. So they must think beyond or they must think out of the box. Using narrative theory, a social worker would help an individual to create a new narrative with different position actions. The social worker help an individual understand how the broader context in contributing for the narrative so they can be aware of things to avoid and ways to tackle in their problems. Para kahit paano kapag they already okay na with their problems, so they already share their thoughts with a lot of self-confidence that they had. Number 4, problem-solving model. The problem-solving model was created by Helen Harris Perman, a social worker and author of Social Casework, a problem-solving process. With a problem-solving model, a social work helps an individual identify a problem, create an action to solve it, and implement the solution. Together, the social worker and individual discuss the effectiveness of the problem-solving strategies and adjust it as necessary. The problem solving enabled the social worker individual to focus on the concrete problem at a time. So they need to focus, say for example, the problem. So after that, they need to prioritize different problem and prioritize also in how to solve. At the time, Perlman argued that this method is effective because long-term psychotherapy isn't always necessary, can be hinder the individual progress. Correct. Number 5, solution-focused therapy. Solution-focused therapy involves the social worker and client identifying a problem and creating a solution based on the individual's strengths. It's a short-term practice, modern, and focused on the helping client to cope with challenges using specific behavior instead of focusing on changing who a client is. Solution-focused therapy concerns changing a client action in certain situation to achieve more favorable outcomes. That is solution-focused therapy. In solution-focused therapy, the social worker and the client work together to devise solutions. This given the client opportunity to play an essential role in the positive changes they going to make and help them in implement those changes since they had a role in suggesting them. So that is solution focused problem. And last but not the least, the task-centered practice. When task-centered practice, a social worker breaks down a problem into manageable tasks. The individual has deadlines to complete the task and agrees to meet them. Task-centered practice is a goal-setting form of social work that help individuals make constant gains toward improving their lives. Task-centered practice is a form of social work brief therapy. Easy therapy or manandalian that provides time-limited treatment to more individuals closer to success as they complete tasks instead of focusing on the past. Social worker using task-oriented practice focus on present on how the worker individuals do on creating tasks will positively impact their future. So they need to settle their problem and they need to develop themselves in the future. They have their different aspirations in being positively effective with that one. So that's it. That's the discussion, and that's the end of our discussion about the different theory in social work, the different therapy also, and doing with the practice in social work. Have a blessed day to all. As your quiz for today, you need to list down, or what you call, you need to explain your you need to discuss about the learning that you got in our discussion, which is the theory in social work and the different therapy. Have a blessed day and God bless you all. Goodbye.